Welcome to EnVision Center News, where we discuss community impact and involvement with today's nonprofit leaders and philanthropists.
Hello, ladies, and welcome to the podcast. Excited to talk about all things Cal coming up in a few minutes. But first, I want to focus on you individually. Can you each give me a little bit of your autobiography, a little bit about maybe where you were originally from, a little bit of education, a little bit of career history? Dish.
Well, I'm Joyce Price. I'm currently the president at Cal, and I grew up in the state of Washington, born in Tacoma, and worked for 30 years at Boeing.
Oh, wow.
And came over here after my husband and I retired. At Boeing, I got a little bit of a glimpse into working for outside agencies and helping to volunteer for, because they were very good about helping the community. Mm-hmm. And I knew that when I retired, I wanted to be able to give back to wherever I happened to live. Mm-hmm. My husband and I both wanted to go to a small town.
Yeah.
And we ended up here.
Did you vacation here? Or?
Yes, we did.
Okay, so that's how you knew about it.
We vacationed here for a number of years before we decided we wanted to try this out.
Okay.
And never looked back.
And when was that?
That was in 2016
that
we moved here.
Coming up on 10 years.
Coming up on 10 years, which is very hard to believe. But I had a very good neighbor when we first moved into town who belonged to Cal and said, you know what, if you want to get involved with the community and meet a lot of neat people, then Cal is a good place for you to start. Mm-hmm. So she took me to a meeting, and that was just a few months after we moved here. Mm-hmm. And I became a member in September of 2016.
Nice.
And it's great.
And the rest is history.
Absolutely,
now you're locked in.
Wonderful. Yes, locked in. That is true.
Okay. Your turn.
I'm Cherie Warber, and I am currently one of the managers at Bazaar, which is the money-raising arm for Community Assistance League and their philanthropic projects. I was born in Southern California, one of those happily displaced Californians, but I left California in the 70s, and I had a career as a flight attendant for 33 years. And after that, and being retired for 2 or 3 years, I decided I needed to do something. So I went back to work for Coldwater Creek after we had moved here in 2004. At the same time, I met a woman who belonged to Cal, and she took me to a couple of meetings, and she tried to get me to join, but I was working almost full time, and I thought I didn't really have time for that. 6 years later, I was no longer at Coldwater Creek, and I immediately called her, and I said, I think I'm ready.
Yeah.
I think I'm ready for this. And
so that's a lesson. Bring the people to the meetings. And you might not get them at first, but 6 years down the road, they might be ready to join. Yeah.
She was tenacious. Mm-hmm. So that's how I ended up at Bazaar and Community Assistance League. And I've really enjoyed it because I like the people that we meet and what we can do for the organizations and the people in town just makes me feel so much better about working a job where I'm there 3 days a week, but it's very fulfilling.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Why does Community Assistance League exist? Why does Cal exist?
Oh, tell the story.
Community Assistance
How
League.
did we get started?
Community Assistance League got started in 1979. Mm-hmm. Yes, there were 3 ladies who were no longer working, were sitting on the beach outside of one of their houses and trying to decide what they could do to give back to the community. And from that little meeting, it burgeoned into the organization that we have now with about 200 members. And they have, since 1970, 46 years, they have been figuring out ways to take care of the community. And Joyce, you're so very good with what our mission statement is.
The Community Assistance League wants to give back to the community in the form of philanthropy, education, and service. So that's what we try to do. In everything that we do, we want to give back because this is such a wonderful community and a very giving community. It's just amazing the people that we have here in the community. So we like to consider our members and our customers superheroes, because they donate, they volunteer, and what was the other one? Donate, volunteer, and
they buy.
And they buy. That's right.
They shop.
And we've always just been overwhelmed at the generosity in the community. It's really cool.
So did it form as more of like a fundraising mechanism, and then we pick things that we're going to give that money to, or was it like we know for sure that we want to give to this cause? Can you tell me a little bit more about that? And maybe it's evolved over the years.
Well, we give our money to the community mostly in the forms of grants and scholarships. So we ask late winter, we're open for applications for both scholarships and grants. We post it in the newspaper so people know. They make their applications. Committees for both scholarship and grants will then determine what they're going to do with those grant applications. Sometimes we can't always fund every grant, but we try our best to fund the ones that we feel are important. 65% of our grants go to children.
Okay.
Children's organizations, things like food for children, grief camps for children, different things for children. And then we also, we fund senior projects, food banks. We do a lot of that. So our store we are a nonprofit. None of us are paid. So other than our overhead, everything goes back to the community.
Does it have to be people who are seeking grants? Does it have to be like human service centered, or can somebody who has an environmental organization and wants to save the trees?
All sorts of things. We have funded organizations like the Water Conservation District for their camps that they do for the kids. We have funded, like I said, the food banks, NAMI, which is, North Idaho Health. So there's there's just a myriad of things. And it's really interesting to read the grant request. It's very rewarding to do that.
In the very, very beginning, they started out more heavy into the education aspect. And we were very involved with the beginning of the Kaleidoscope program, which now the Pondere Arts Council has kind of taken the reins on that, but helping the kids in the schools with that. But again, it's absolutely phenomenal, the number of nonprofits that we have in Bonner County, and also the number of outstanding students we have who apply for scholarships every year. We have a scholarship committee that is always blown away by the stories and the needs of the kids. These young people are so amazing in their dreams and desires to move forward, and it's sometimes very difficult
I bet.
to select the recipients.
So do you have set dollar amounts for those scholarships and grants, or do you receive the applications and then that's how you get, like, this organization, we're going to give $5,000 to, this one's it's $1,000, this student gets, or is it like all the grants are this amount, and if you win a grant, that's how much you get, and the same for scholarships?
But with with the scholarships, it's up to the committee that's doing it to decide how they're going to take the amount of money that they have and allocate it.
Okay.
So it can be different every single year.
I gotcha.
With the grants, they ask for an amount. The grant application is very specific. We want a little brief bio about the organization. We want to know what their project is, how it will affect the community and how many people it will affect the community. We would like to see estimates for what, if they're buying something, what they're doing. We want them to be very specific. And again, as I said, sometimes we can't quite give them the full amount because we don't have enough money. I mean, we'd love to be able to give everybody anything they ask for,
Sure.
but this is a real world.
Yeah.
And so then we determine from that information that they give us what we will allocate to them from the monies that we have. And that can change from year to year depending on how
Of course, yeah.
good our proceeds are.
Yeah. And does it all come from Bazaar, or do you throw other fundraisers?
We get donations. We get private donations from people, but the majority of it is through Bazaar.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which started as a rummage sale one day a year, I guess it was.
Yes, it was.
And it's just morphed into this
Wow.
amazing upscale resale store that is it's just amazing. That's all I can say.
Some of the ladies who were
Yeah.
participating in that one-day rummage sale, which was at the Sandpoint Community Center, the little log building in town, said, this is a lot of work to price this. Maybe we should just have a store. And they took it to the president and they took it to the membership, and there was a lot of conversation, some nays, some yays, and they finally worked it out that they would try it. And they opened in 2006, March of 2006, in a little store up in Ponderay. And now we're in our third location, and we are, through that store alone, we have given almost $2.5 million back to the community.
Wow. That's quite the number.
It is. It really is.
It's incredible because what all the nonprofits need is they need money and they need volunteers. And to have such a steady stream of volunteers like you who can run that, that would be my thing. It'd be like, okay, if we do a store, who's going to run this thing? Like, now are we going to have to pay people? Or are these going to be volunteers? Will we be able to have a steady, a roster of volunteers? And you've done it. I don't know how, but you've done it. You've worked magic.
I am so amazed with how they set the business up. These, the first ladies that started it. And I remember when I came from Coldwater Creek, where they were trying to reinvent the wheel every week. And so it was always confusing what they wanted us to do as far as the business plan went. And I walked in there and they said, well, this is how we do things. This is our business plan. And I thought, that cannot work. That just cannot. This was coming from retail.
Right.
I said, I don't see how this can work. And within a couple of months, I said, this is the best way of running a business that I've ever seen.
It hasn't always been easy getting the volunteers to commit to work in the store. But there are so many different ways that people can support without being up in the front of the store, facing the customers. There's all the behind the scenes, just like, a theater production. You've got all these things that go on behind the scenes. So it does take a village because we have a lot of things that go on. And we have a lot of donations. If you had ever been in the storage area of our store, we have a lot of merchandise. And Cherie and her managers they do a phenomenal job of making sure everything is, in special places so that during the different seasons, it all comes out kind of like a retail store.
The Christmas stuff comes out, the Halloween stuff, the
different
summer
seasons.
stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So it's all planned out and it's amazing.
Yeah.
The great, I don't know, I guess the synchronization that goes on with everybody doing their, choreographed dances in the store. It's amazing.
How does one become a member? What does membership entail?
Oh, it's hazing. And no, I'm just kidding. It's just come in, fill out an application, and our initial fee is $40, which includes your classy little Community Assistance League badge. But basically that's it. Because the ladies that come to us, and some gentlemen, we have had some, in fact, we have one gentleman right now who takes care of our books, but they're coming in because they want to help. They want to do something fun. And we try to make it fun. Yes, it is organized, and thank you. It's choreographed, but we want people to come in and have a social experience as well, to have fun and laugh with people, make friends. I've made really wonderful friends since I came to Community Assistance League. So that's what we wanted. We wanted to be a rewarding experience for our volunteers. And like a lot of organizations after the pandemic, our participation dropped. But we have a core group of ladies who give so much time to us, and they really become quite experienced in how the shop runs. It's wonderful to work with them.
Yep. And our organization is very social. I mean, it always has been a real social network and outlet for the women and the men. And there are a number of organized game groups that meet throughout the week, and they'll do anything from play Mexican Train, they'll play mahjong, they'll play poker. What else do they do?
A card game, hand and foot. There are book clubs,
and
several of them.
Right. So there's a number of different little offshoots of what we do. That's a social part. It's not a money-making part, but boy, does it bring the people together, and they just love it. Yeah.
And they become good friends. And then we have socially, we have 2 fixed events every year, our spring luncheon and our Christmas luncheon, which was supposed to be yesterday and got postponed because of the windstorm. And then we also have other social events that we try to encourage people to bring a spouse or a friend to during the year, because it is like a family.
So do you have to be a member to be a volunteer?
Yes.
Okay.
Essentially, you do. We did just have an intern. Not an intern, but we had a young woman who was in high school who helped us at the store.
Yeah, we get student volunteers. Sometimes they're fulfilling their charitable work. By coming to us, they have to put in, I think it's 70 hours or something like that for their graduation requirements, or like if they're a National Merit Scholarship. This particular one that we just had was college, and she was fabulous, just really great to work with. But we are very happy to accommodate the teenagers or young women or men. We've even had a fellow come in to help them. Again, this is part of our education. Our service is to help them fulfill those requirements that they have to do. And in the meantime, they can pick up some skills along the way.
And so once you're a member, you attend both the events. Is that what the luncheon, is that for members, like a big meeting of the members kind of social thing, or is that something like it's the public, they're buying tickets and it's raising a little money?
It's mostly for the members.
Just for members. Okay.
Sometimes we can bring guests depending on the size of the venue. But we did this spring, our last 2 meetings in the spring, where we actually had speakers. We opened that to the public. And so they didn't have to pay. They could just come and enjoy the speakers because they were very interesting. One was a woman who had been on Alone, wasn't it? The television survival show called Alone. And then the other one was Rachel Jeffries, who is the daughter of a gentleman that actually he's in prison right now because he was a far, far right cult gentleman. So she escaped the cult. Okay. And so she came and she talked to us about that, and it was very interesting.
Well, we have monthly general meetings
that
our membership is invited to.
Okay.
And we at nearly every single meeting, we have guest speakers who come in and educate our women or talk to us about different things going on in the community or other types of subjects that they might be interested in. So we just had the EnVision Center in
Yeah.
to
And the
talk to
meetings are
us.
open to anybody.
Yeah,
and that's where
meetings
we
are
get a
open to
lot of
anybody.
new members.
Okay. Okay. So that's the one that you got invited to, was one of those
Yes.
general meetings.
Right.
And so once you're a member, what's the requirement? Like, how many meetings? I'm just asking these questions. If someone's like, maybe I join, but what would my commitment be?
We ask that you give us a minimum of 4 hours a month at the store. That's not a very big commitment when you consider we're open 7 days a week. They can do it in however many increments if they want to do it 2 2-hour shifts or 1 4-hour shift, because we are open for a 4-hour day. And a lot of ladies will come in more frequently than that, and some will just do the bare minimum. And we have had a couple join just so that they could go join the play
games.
groups.
Yeah. Hey, if
But
that's how you
most
get
of
them
them are
in.
there to do something.
Right.
And it's really nice. We've had some wonderful new members join us recently that are just lively and kind of kick us in the pants and make us realize, hey, we can keep going on this. They're great to have around.
Yeah. And then I'm assuming, so when it's time to look at the grants, look at the scholarship applications, do you form those committees from the members? Like, do you do call out, hey, we're who wants to be on this committee for scholarships or that committee for grants? Is that kind of how it works? Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yep.
But it's up to, people don't have to. The requirement is the store volunteer time. Being on one of those committees is not a requirement.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
How many people do you normally have on a committee?
I don't know about scholarships because I've never been on a scholarship committee, but the grant committees are about 15 people. We have, and they are also board members, a chairperson for each of those committees, and then they put their group together. They ask for any volunteers and then some backups in case somebody gets sick or
Sure.
has something come up at the last minute. But it's probably about 15 to 20 for scholarships as well, I think, maybe less.
I think it's a little bit less than that, but it's amazing what they can do in a short amount of time. Because it's really a short window that they actually review all the applications
Yeah.
and then make the decision. So that commitment in itself is not a huge commitment every year. I mean, there's a concentration for a while. But
Yeah, and a time commitment.
yeah.
But it's really fun, I think, probably.
Yes, I love
it's
it.
fun to be on those committees for sure.
Well, and you learn so much, especially on grants, about all of the nonprofits.
Yeah.
And what their needs are and what they do and how they give back, which is great.
Yeah, it's kind of like how I've been blessed to get to do this at the EnVision
Right,
Center. I just
right.
learn every week about somebody new a lot of the times. Okay, so what is I guess, is the biggest need then just volunteer, like become a member and help in the store? Is that kind of where you'd say your number one need is?
We would prefer that. But again, as Joyce said, there are other ways that they can volunteer in support positions. We have some people who really don't want to work in the store, but they come and they pick up the things that we can't use in the store. We call those pass-ons, and they take them to other charitable organizations in town. So we very rarely throw anything away unless it's broken, torn, dirty.
Yeah.
Something like that. But if it's something, because we consider ourselves upscale resale, if it's something that doesn't fit our parameters, we will pass it on. So these ladies, we have 6 of them who come once a day and pick these things up. And that's their contribution. And it's an important contribution.
Yep.
We call them our pass-on angels.
We have people that like to just iron
Yeah.
clothes or steam. We have people that take clothes home to wash,
Yeah.
do laundry, so all of those things, like we said, behind the scenes.
Yeah.
And we have work parties sometimes. Joyce and her husband head up the work party for the outside of our building to do
doing the yard
maintenance. And so she
Yep,
puts out
yep.
an email, gets a group together, and they spend a Sunday a month during the summer months and clean the place up, and it always looks so wonderful when I come to work on Monday.
What's the coolest thing you've seen come through the store?
Oh, my.
You can name a couple if you can't pick one.
I'll tell you, one of my favorite things right now is we have a beautiful vintage, totally beaded pink sheath that the woman who brought it in said she wore it one time when she was 18 years old to one of John F. Kennedy's inaugural balls.
Oh, wow.
And that to me, every time I
yeah.
look at that dress, I just
Yeah.
think, wow, now that's a piece of history.
Mm-hmm.
I like the things that come in that have a story.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
If I'm there when they come in, I'll try to ask the donor, tell me about this. Where did this come from? We've had some things, oh, I know. Another one of my favorite stories was in a purse. Because we go through everything, the donations when they come in, the pockets and everything else. But we don't always know who the donation came from. In a purse, somebody pulled out a piece of jewelry and took it to the jewelry counter. And the woman who was working there at the time looked at it and she says, I don't think this is costume jewelry. She started doing research, and to make a long story short, it turned out to be a Tiffany pin.
Wow.
And of course, we'd love to hook the pin back up with the original owner, but we didn't know who donated it.
Yeah.
But it was a blessing for us. We were able to sell it for $2,000.
Whoa.
And, that was, wow, that was...
Was that something that you then went and sold online or something, or did you sell it in the store?
Actually, it's funny. She went into a Tiffany store in Southern California, and the saleswoman looked at it and she goes, yes, this is one of ours. And at the time there was a customer in there and she says, do you mind if I look at it? And she wrote out a check right on the spot for it.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow, that is so fun. Actually, that I guess would be another question. Do you ever sell stuff online? Things that you get in that maybe you feel like, oh, if we auction this off, if it's something really high value that would
We're
be an online
looking
auction
into
type of
that,
thing.
exploring some issues. We're trying to find somebody who's knowledgeable about that kind of thing, willing to spend the time to do some research and get us information. We tried eBay several years ago, but they were took them a long time to pay vendors their money. And since it was a volunteer position, the person got kind of tired of trying to sell this stuff. We have had silent auctions at the store where if we get a really wonderful painting or original, or we had a Ross Hall print that when Hall was still alive, he verified it as one of the earlier prints that his dad had made. And we did a silent auction on that. So we try to we're looking at more innovative ways to sell some of the stuff we have. We do put some of our special things on Facebook, because we do have a Facebook page. And we have had people call and say, I want that. Could you hold it for me?
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah. We had a member a number of years ago who he would take things to auction down in Spokane, right? And we did quite well on some of those items that we didn't think would sell in the store, but they sold at auction.
Yeah.
And then he moved away, so we haven't had any real luck with doing that since that time.
He was very dedicated. He knew which of the auctions he worked were the right ones for the stuff that he had.
Yeah.
We're still getting checks from Owen's Auction
Really?
House.
That's amazing. Yeah.
From stuff that he took in there.
My mom's a big auction lady, so that's why I thought about other ways of selling things. She's like an auction hound, always finding auctions online and in person. I mean, nowadays, I guess a lot of the in-person ones actually are online as well. You have the option to preview it or whatever, or bid online and then preview it or look at it in person if you want to. But, gosh, okay, we've covered how you become a member, the different causes that you've given to, grants, scholarships, the founding of it. What did we miss? What do the people need to know about Cal that we haven't said yet?
Well, we could talk about donations.
Okay.
We get a lot of donations, mostly clothing, but we also take housewares. We take jewelry. We take, in the clothing field, we do take women's, men's, and children's. We take books and audio stuff. We have linens. We have a boutique section, which is our even more upscale clothing. And we have home decor, a bridal room, which also has fancy dresses. So we're selling a lot of that for the holiday parties. And then once people start buying things for the heart ball, they'll be back looking for dresses. Prom, we have the young women are coming in and buying prom dresses or dresses for homecoming. And we're getting a larger clientele of teenagers, which is wonderful to see because they're starting to understand how thrifting is a great way to go in this day and age.
And our crafts department has just exploded. There is a need in this town for crafts, and we have
Like you're selling yarn and things like that?
creative people, and yes,
Okay.
yes,
The materials to
yarn,
do the crafts.
material,
Okay.
thread,
Bags of buttons
yes.
and zippers and paints to do something else that you want to with. All kinds of things in the
Greeting
crafts
cards,
department.
I mean,
They went
just-
from an area that was probably about 9 by 6 feet, and now they're in a room that's almost 30 feet by about 20 feet. And it's how they merchandise their stuff too. It's all clean. It's packed in plastic. It looks just beautiful.
And we have a member who's an absolute wonderful quilter and donates quilts to the store as well. So we sell her beautiful quilts in the store.
Lovely. So when are there specific times that people can bring items, or can you just come when the store is open and say, here, can I donate this?
When the store is open,
Okay.
which is Monday through Saturday, and we open at 11 and we close at 3, we do prefer to get our donations in by 2:30, so we get a chance to perhaps work on them before the end of the day. They just can come to the front doors, say they have some donations, and we will, because our sales space is a little bit smaller than our last area, we're a little bit more particular with what we can take. It's not what we want to take, but it's what we can take.
Right.
Like we can't take big pieces of furniture anymore like we used to. So we will sometimes look at a donation and say, oh my God, we'd love to have this, or I'm sorry, we don't have room for this. You know, if we could just build up an extension.
I know.
Well, great. And it doesn't have to be like you say it's more upscale resale. So things need to be clean. They need to be in fairly good condition. Do they need to be, if you're bringing in clothing, for example, do they need to be like nicer brands of clothing, or as long as the clothing is just in great shape?
If the clothing is in great shape, we will sort through it and say, you know, this isn't a really expensive brand, but it's just terribly cute. We can sell this, or I think that this is probably something that won't sell well here. I've spent the last few years watching what doesn't sell. So
What doesn't sell?
what doesn't sell, every month we mark down things that have been on the floor, clothing that's been on the floor for 2 months, mark it down to half price, and then the next month it goes away. And we put out new merchandise. Well, we put out new merchandise daily, but with the days, call it markdown time, that we bring out a lot of new merchandise. So I watch what goes through that 3-month phase. And if it's going away, why is it going away? Is it something that was unseasonable? Is it something that just wasn't unredeemably cute? Maybe there was a fit issue with something. You know, you just never know. But we did find out, okay, pleated pants, the old-fashioned 80s pleated pants, which everybody was putting out, don't sell, so don't take up our real estate with that. You know, it's little things like that. It's a learning process for all of us.
Yeah. And I'm sure actually even that changes, because who knows? some celebrity starts wearing pleated pants and they're back.
But they're pleated differently.
Okay, well, maybe they'll never come back then. It seems like these fashions come, things
Yes, they do.
cycle
And
through.
sorry to say, for those of you who are digging in the back of your closet and bringing out your 80s clothes, that hasn't come back yet either.
Oh my gosh, how fun. Okay, did we miss anything else? What else do people need to know?
We're just coming off of an annual event that we give back to the community in the form of senior giving. Every Christmas, we've been coordinating with the Sandpoint Senior Center to help give Christmas gifts to seniors who are on the Meals and Wheels delivery route. They're basically shut-ins, and many of them may not have family. They don't get out. They don't have anyone that visits them or anything. So we will prepare bags of Christmas gifts for them, male or female. We select which ones we want, and then we'll gather all those bags together and we'll take them down to the senior center, and then the delivery people from the senior center will give them out to in the community. And this is our 10th year that we've been doing this now, and this year we had 70 that we gathered and have given back. And it's always a big hit. I mean, they really enjoy that. The senior center is very appreciative of the generosity of our members and giving back. So that's another thing that we like to do.
Yeah. So wonderful. And it's great that you're kind of hitting all kinds of different ages and demographics with the giving, right? If it's education, then it's just children for the most part, or young people, but you're also hitting the seniors. I mean, I don't know what your shopping demographic sounds like. It's pretty wide too, of people, you're getting teenagers, I'm sure you're getting older folks and everybody in between. So you're really hitting all kinds of different people in the community, which is pretty special. Not every nonprofit can do that, based on their mission.
Yeah.
We get women who actually don't have to drag their husbands into the store. They come willingly in and either head directly for the books or for the men's department. And it's nice to see. We get some buses occasionally from some of the assisted living places, like Luther Park or the Bridge. And that's fun. We try to encourage them to call us, and we'd love to have them come before we open so that we can really give them our own special attention.
Yeah.
And we're doing some other events after hours too. With we have a new member who has quite experience through retail in clothing, and she is doing sort of wardrobe updates. We did with a bank, one of the banks. Just recently, we had their ladies come in after hours, and we helped them shop for an outfit.
Wow.
It was
That's
really
so
a lot
fun.
of fun. We're trying to expand and do a lot of other things.
Did you record? Was that did somebody make a little video out of that, or is there?
No, we did take some photographs.
Yeah, that sounds so fun.
We had, I think, nine ladies that came in to shop, and they each had their own personal attendant to help take care of them.
In
so
their
we
own
had as
personal
much fun
style,
as they
so-
did.
Yeah.
Yep.
And when they left, they said, "Can we do this again?"
Of course they did. Who wouldn't want to go shopping with somebody who helps you out, pick
Right.
out the perfect outfit?
And we reach out to the community in other ways. One of my favorite things is working with the various nonprofit theater groups and helping them with their costuming. And we have a program where they can rent some clothing from us, and just for their plays, as long as it comes back clean and within a reasonable period of time. And to me, it's fun because they always bring in pictures of the people on stage, and that's our dresses.
Yeah.
That's our suit over there. It's fun to see.
Yeah, totally awesome. Okay. Anything else? I keep feeling like we got it, but then you just tell me more great stories. You're just full of all these cool, wonderful experiences you give folks.
I think we kind of covered it.
Yeah. You can visit our website for the Community Assistance League at calsandpoint.org and find out more about our organization.
And everybody should, especially if they don't know much about you. Thank you for what you do. Obviously, it's a huge impact, millions of dollars over these years, and we're just very grateful to have you.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
And giving us an opportunity to talk about Community Assistance League and Bazaar Bazaar.
Thanks for listening to today's episode. For more information, you can go to crecidaho.com. Please like, share, and subscribe. We'll see you again soon.